Welcome back to my workshop. Now, once again, I've been approached by KAiWEETS and they've asked me to review a product, and it's the KM200s. It's a digital multimeter. Now, I've already got multimeters. I've got one here which I use pretty much every day. So why would I want to use this one? Well, KAiWEETS, as I've said in previous videos, have already sent me this soldering iron, which is fantastically good. I use this a lot. But they've also recently sent me this electronic screwdriver set, which is also impressively good. Okay, so I thought I'll give it a go. I'll have a look and see what this is all about. Now, my intention was I was going to do a shootout between this and this meter, which is what I use every day. Okay, now this is a Fluke. So this and this, both digital multimeters. But I think it would be unfair to do a comparison between this and this, because as of today, which is October 2025, this is £15, okay, off of Amazon, £15. And if you use the link down in the description, I think I've got a discount code which might give you 15% off. That's up here. So this is £15. But as of today, this is £1,200. Okay, so they're both digital multimeters, but I don't think it'd be fair to do a shootout. Having said that, from what I've researched already, I think this would give this a run for its money. Okay, but these are for two different sorts of people. This is for a professional, someone that's going to use one every single day. But this one will be more suited for a hobbyist or something to keep in your toolbox indoors, just for checking voltages or things like that. I'll run through all its functions, but this is not the same as that one, but I think it's going to be pretty good. Okay, so let's get this out of the box and we'll see what functions it's got, what it does, how we use it, and is it any good. Right, so what have we got here? We've got a KAiWEETS digital multimeter. It's the KM200s. Okay, it looks very simple. It looks like it's got more buttons on it, but it's actually only got 3 buttons. Okay, we'll have a look at that when we get it out of the box. So that's what it looks like. This has actually got a couple of functions on it that this more expensive one hasn't got, which I'm quite interested to look at. Okay, we'll look at that in a moment. On the side here, KAiWEETS, it's got a few QR codes here, one for YouTube, one for Instagram, one for Facebook, and one for TikTok. Okay, if you're particularly interested, you can look at any of those. On the back here, we got a little bit of spec. Let's see what the spec says. Okay, DC voltage, so it reads DC voltage, auto functions, manual conversion functions, 0.8 volts to 600 volts with a 1% accuracy, plus or minus 5. Okay, that'll be fine. That'll be more than enough for indoors. AC voltage. Okay, so it also reads AC voltage. So this DC voltage is from batteries. AC voltage is the type of electricity you get coming through your house. Okay, it can measure resistance, 400 ohms, 4 kilo ohms, 40 kilo ohms, 400 kilo ohms, 4 mega ohms, and 40 mega ohms. So more than enough range that you would use. Counts 4,000, true RMS, you probably won't have to worry about this. NCV, now this is something that the other one hasn't got, okay? This is non-contact voltage. So I could use this as a voltage detector, and I'll demonstrate that. It's got a continuity buzzer, which you would use. Data hold, also you would use. A backlight, which is handy. Flashlight lighting. Now that's another thing that the other one hasn't got, which would be more than useful. Obviously, if you're checking electrics because the lights have gone out, you need a torch. That would be handy. Okay, and auto power off, which will obviously save your batteries. Okay, so that's basically what it can do. So let's get it out of this little box here and have a look and see exactly what we get. Okay, so what we get in a package is a little user manual here. Okay, I'll have a quick flick through there. It looks like it's in multiple languages. Yeah, obviously 99% of them I can't understand unless it's English. Here we go. So the first part here That's in English. That's the bit I'm going to read. Okay, picture of it on the front, user manual, KM200s. Okay, we get 2 batteries, so that obviously means that this doesn't come with batteries in it. You get this, which is the main unit, and then a set of leads. Okay, they don't feel too bad a quality actually. Yeah, not too bad at all. I might actually compare those to the other set I've got. Right, that's what you get in the box, okay, and you get a nice box as well. Right, let's have a look at these one at a time, just to have a closer look. Okay, so starting off with the user manual here. Obviously this is the most boring part of the video, but it's worth looking at this and keeping it handy just in case, because if you don't use it all the time, and you may need to figure out how to use it, this looks like fairly comprehensive. Okay, as I say, it's in various languages here, okay, which is good. Obviously I'm only interested in English. Starts off a little bit of safety information. Obviously don't kill yourself doing anything with it. A bit more safety here, bit of maintenance. Do not attempt to open the bottom case to adjust or repair the instrument. Okay, so don't take it apart. For the price of this, if it really breaks or you run over it, don't try fixing it, just get another one. Okay, product description. It gives you an indication of what all the bits and pieces on the device are. NCV, which is the non-contact voltage. We'll go through that. On, off, display screen, power buttons, hold, backlight buttons, blah, de, blah, de, blah. Okay, then it shows you what you're going to actually see on the screen and what it means, with a nice little reference here. That's handy to look at. Comprehensive indicators. It gives you the technical spec, which we pretty much looked at on the back of the box anyway. Then it gives you some idea of how to actually use it. Okay, but I think by the time you've actually reached for this, you know what you want to measure anyway. Okay, but this is always handy to look at. And finally, battery replacement. Okay, don't know why that's at the end. Really, it should be at the beginning, because you actually get 2 batteries with it, which means we've got to put batteries in this. We'll do that in a minute. These batteries are just standard batteries. Now, you can't use rechargeable batteries with this. You should use these or something of a little higher quality if you want. I don't know how long they'll last for, because obviously I haven't even plugged it in yet. But you get 2 batteries with it. Then you also get a set of leads. Now these look quite good leads. Has it got anything written on it? Okay, 1000 volt, category 3, 10 amp leads. Yeah, they look not too bad quality. You've got a protective cap to stop you stabbing yourself. And then you've got obviously a probe here. Okay, you can get additional attachments to go on the end of these, like the other leads I've got, for example. Okay, now these are genuine Fluke ones. They've got the same point on the end, and you can get things like these crocodile clips that go on the end. Okay, so interesting to see. Do these fit on here? Yes, they do. Okay, so these leads are interchangeable with other leads. So if you've already got various multimeters and you've got attachments like this, you can use them. But it obviously comes just with these leads. You get obviously a red one, which is the positive, and a black one, which is the negative. Okay. Yeah, they look quite usable. A little bit of stress relief on here, so they shouldn't snap. Yeah, quite like those. Probably not as good as the Fluke ones, but they look more than usable. Right, let's get on to the main thing here. Right, so the first thing you notice, it's actually quite compact. Okay, so it's quite small in comparison to the Fluke, obviously, which is somewhat bigger. Okay, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. This I could easily put in my pocket, whereas the Fluke I couldn't. Just to give you an idea of the length. Okay, it's about 12 centimeters. Okay, which is just over 4.5 inches by 2.5 inches wide, which is about 60 mil. Okay, all right, so it's quite compact. On the front here, you've obviously got the NCV at the top, which is the non-contact voltage. I'll show you that. You've got the screen. You've got the KAiWEETS sticker on the front here. But you've only actually got 3 buttons. Okay, you've got the mode button and the light button. on, off, hold, and the backlight. Okay, all the rest of these are just stickers to tell you what it is. And in here you've got your common and your other connector for the leads. Okay, the leads have got these little elbows on the end. They've got a safety catch in it, cap in it, which you just pull out. Obviously black goes in the common, and then the red one, pull out the little cap here, and that goes in the red. Okay, there's a little ring around here to tell you which one's which. Common sense says put that in there. Okay, so that's your leads, that's how they plug in. Nothing else, no overly complicated buttons, nothing on the back. But here we've got that, which is a torch basically, and that's one thing that this one hasn't got. Okay, so that could be quite handy, but obviously it's not going to work because the first thing you've got to do is put some batteries in it. So let's do that. All right, so obviously we've got to put these batteries in it, but where do they go? You can't actually see where the batteries go. And the reason is because it's got a plastic cover on it, or a rubbery cover on it. Okay, you can see it here. That's to protect it if you drop it. Yeah, you're very unlikely to damage that by dropping it from a fairly big height. Okay, but that should come off. I've not done this yet, but okay, you just prise it off, and then the unit should pop out. Okay, and then you've got access to your battery. Now that's obviously a good design, because that's exactly what this does. Okay, so that idea has come from somewhere. So plastic cover or rubbery cover, and you can now see where to get the battery out. Right, let's undo that. If only I had an electronic screwdriver. Oh look, just what I wanted. Let's open that. This is my KAiWEETS electronic screwdriver. We take one of those, we take a bit, come around this side, can we undo it? No problem at all. Right, this is not a captive screw, so when you take this out, don't drop it. So if you've still got your little mat, you can put it on there. That's good. Right, pop that out, get your batteries. It shows you which way to go, like that, and then this one goes like that. Beep. Okay, then this goes back in, screw back in with my electrical screwdriver. Alright, and we've started in auto. Alright, let's put a cover back on that, and then we can start playing with it. I love this thing. Right, so as soon as you get the batteries in it, it starts up in auto. Let's see if we can actually turn it off. So pressing and holding the on-off button turns it on and off. Okay, and it defaults to auto. I've got a little screen cover on here. Let's take that off. Ooh, lovely. Something strangely nice about that. Okay, mode switch. Now if we scroll through the mode switch, one press takes us on to DC voltage. Push again, AC voltage. Press again, takes us on to resistance. Okay, it shows up here there's a resistance, and it's an omega sign. Press it again. That is also a resistance, but that's with the beeper. And this is for the non-contact voltage. Okay, and then onto auto. Is that it? Yeah, and then we're back to DC voltage. Okay, so scrolling through, you can get to whichever type of voltage you're going to be reading. Okay, or you could just leave it on auto. Right, the other button here is hold. I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, and as well as the mode switch, this also does the flashlight. I think if you press and hold it, yeah, it comes on. Okay, so we've now got a flashlight. So push and hold, and it goes off. Push and hold, back on. Okay, that could be quite handy. As I say, this other one hasn't got that, so that's good. Right, okay, this hold button I was going to show you in a second, but also, yes, a backlight. So you push and hold this one and it lights up this one as a backlight. So if you are working in dim conditions, just push and hold that and it will light the back. Okay, but remember that's going to start eating through your batteries. Right, shall we measure something with this? And what we do, first of all, we'll leave it on auto to see if it detects things correctly. Right, we're going to start off fairly simple here. We're going to leave it on auto and we want to see if it actually detects the type of voltage it is. We'll start off simply. This is a 9-volt battery. Okay, you've all seen these. So this should be 9-volt DC. So what I'm hoping to see is, get the dust off it, is when I probe this, I should get that, say 9 volts, and it should tell me it's DC. Okay, don't try and do this with these covers still on because it's not going to work. So you pull those off, okay, and then obviously on the battery here, that's positive and that's negative. So we do negative here, positive here. Little bit of a delay there, but it's showing me 9.4 volts, okay, and it's actually showing DC. Okay, so they're auto detected. Okay, it goes back to auto. Now, if I went into mode and went to DC, that should instantly tell me again, 9.45. Okay, if you're in the wrong mode and you go to measure it, okay, it will give you an invalid reading. Okay, so if you're unsure, obviously you shouldn't be poking around with the wires anyway, but in theory, if you stay in auto, click, it will find out what it is. It will tell you what the reading is. Okay, so that's DC voltage on there. Also here I've got another battery. Okay, this is a 20-volt power tool battery. Same thing here, still on auto. I'm going to just plug that in there. Check it here. I should expect to see about 20 volts here. Little bit of a delay, 19.29. Just out of curiosity, what we'll do is we'll check it with our very expensive meter. Okay, so we got, oh, come on. So we got our 19.28 there, so you can see it. Now let's put this on DC. Get our leads. Okay, and measure exactly the same points, 19.21. Okay, fairly close, but as I say, this was over £1,000 and this is £15. So it gives you a really good idea of the readings you got. Okay, so fairly accurate. Okay, that's DC voltage. That's simple enough, just checking battery voltages. Now let's check some AC voltages. Right, before I check some AC voltages, just thought I'd give you a little bit of a warning here, just because I'm responsible. I'm about to check AC voltage. Now in the UK, we obviously have 240 volts AC. I believe in America, you have 110. Okay, this will kill you. Okay, if you just start prodding and poking around, it's not going to give you a little spark and a little tingle. This will kill you, okay? So be very careful. So what I'm doing here is just a demonstration to show you about reading voltages, but it's entirely up to you to take your own precautions and don't do anything that you don't know what you're doing, okay? So this stuff hurts, but let's check it anyway. Right, so all I'm going to do is, here's my lead, is plugged into the plug at the moment. Okay, so in theory, this should be live. Okay, obviously, good old British standard. You can't touch it without actually poking stuff in there. So this is fairly safe as it is. But let's check it. So we've got our meter here again on auto. Okay, so what I'm hoping is this is going to detect that it's AC voltage, and it should tell me it's 240 volts. Okay, so one in there, on auto, 243.5. Okay, so it's detected it's AC and it's 240 volts. That's good. Don't touch these. It will kill you. Be careful. Right, let's also check that using the mode. We go onto AC. Again, plug it in, 244. Now if we try going into a different mode, it gives us some strange readings because we're not in the right mode. Okay, these are all resistance. Oh, okay. But this also gives me a chance to check the NCV. So this is the non-contact voltage. Okay, it says NCV up here. So in theory, if I go next to something with this, all I'm going to do is scroll through until I get to the NCV. Oh, I've gone too far. NCV, okay, and it says EF. So all I've got to do now is find a power source. Oh look, I've got a power supply here, which is obviously powered by the mains. So if I go near this, it should give me a warning, which it does. Okay, come away from it. It should stop, which it does. Now that obviously works from that, but let's check it on something else. Let's wander you around here. Okay, and what have we got? Here we go, we've got a light switch here. Sorry about the wibbly wobbliness. We've got a light switch or a power supply. Obviously I know that there's power there, but if I didn't know, what I could do is just go near it. Okay, so that tells me there's power there. So before I start doing anything, I can just check without even plugging anything in. Now that is a really good function. I like that a lot. Right, so while I'm here and I've just checked that, but what if there was suddenly no lights? Oh, right, okay. So all I've got to do is push and hold the button. Okay, and then suddenly I've got a light. So I can use that light to find it. I don't know if you could see that on the video. And I can go next to it. Oh, look, I've got power there. So I can turn that on. Right, that's probably not very clear on the video. So let's turn on the backlighting. That's good. Okay, all those little functions that I think are going to be really useful. Turn that back on, turn that off, and then turn that off. Yeah, a couple of good functions there. What else can it do? Resistance. Let's look at some resistance. Right, so as I say, this is going to be an ideal sort of multimeter to throw into your toolbox. For use in the home. Now, what sort of scenarios would you want to use resistance? Okay, a lot of people wouldn't even know where to begin with resistance. But for example, okay, your kids come up to you and say, "Dad, my PlayStation's not working." Okay, now one place to start is obviously checking the fuse in the plug. Now this is a standard UK plug, okay, 3-pin, probably the best in the world. But each of them come with a fuse. Now in this one, the fuse is in the middle there, which you can just about see. But to check a fuse, you could use resistance. Okay, so these are the fuses that come in it. Okay, now all you've got to do is set your meter to resistance. Okay, so up here you got mega ohms, so the omega sign. Let's get you right in close so you can see that, if it'll focus. Okay, that says mega ohms. Okay, so you're looking for that. You can use that, or one more click and you can go on to ohms with the little noise symbol. Okay, which means that's a continuity checker. Bloody light's in the way. Okay, but what I'll do is I'll just go on to the mega ohms one, because I prefer using ohms. Focus. Okay, and what that means is if you touch these two terminals together, so you're making a circuit, okay, so you're checking a contact, so touch them two together and you'll come up with a very low number. Okay, in this case it was 0. Now that's showing that there's no resistance between these two. okay, which means current will flow between these two. So to check this fuse, all you've got to do is touch on either side, not with your fingers, but with this. And you can see that it's giving us a 0 reading, okay, which means there's continuity across this fuse, which means the fuse is okay. Okay, just to give you an idea, it's exactly the same on this. We'll put it on ohms. We'll take our probes. We'll go across here. And you can't see that because the light's in the way. Okay, and it's also giving us a very low reading. So that performs as well as that. The only difference is there seems to be a little bit of a delay on this one. Okay, which is not a problem because by the time you've sorted it out, okay, that's quick enough. But also you can do the continuity. So if you go on the ohm signal with the sound, when you touch them together, there's a little bit of a delay, but then it'll beep. Okay, so if these touch together, if it beeps, then this fuse is okay. So there's basically a couple of ways you would use resistance, and both of those should be more than enough for usage at home. Right, one more function that I'd like to demonstrate here is the hold function. Okay, you've got a hold button here. Let's get you a bit closer. Okay, oh, it's no point being close if you're not in focus. Okay, here you've got a hold button. Now what that does is whatever reading you've got, if you want to hold that function, say if you was in somewhere that's not very accessible and you can't see it very clearly, you can push that and it holds the voltage reading that you've got at that specific time. Okay, now I've got this plugged into a DC power supply here, so whatever reading I set this to here, that's auto detected. I'm on 11 volts. Okay, if I just push the hold button, okay, you then see, let's get you up close, focus. Okay, you can see up here, where are we? Here, there's a little H has appeared. Okay, that means it's holding. Okay, that's holding at 11.9 volts. Okay, so if I reduce this, this is now gone down to nothing. Okay, so there's no voltage, but this is staying on 11.9 volts. Okay, I adjust this again to whatever. Oh, 21 volts, that's lots. Okay, but this is still on 11 volts. As soon as I push the hold again, okay, the hold symbol disappears and it goes up to what it should be, 21 volts. Okay, 21 volts. That's the hold function. That can be really handy. Right, I think that's just about it for this little demonstration. Yeah, I like this quite a lot. Right, so I think that's just about it. It's just to give you an idea of what this thing is capable of. And I think, personally, this is going to be excellent. I'm just going to throw it in my toolbox. And rather than hunting around for my Fluke, which is a fantastic meter, this one, even though it's only £15, okay, it's more than capable for measuring voltages and resistances. It's got a light on it, which could be very handy. It's got the non-contact voltage, which is also very handy. So I think this is going to be great. Plus as well, you can just shove it in your pocket, whereas you can't with the other one. So you get that in the box. Keep holding the instructions. This might give you some indication of what you're doing if you're not too sure. And you get a decent set of leads. And they're not crispy, horrible leads. They're nice quality, I think. Okay, so I think overall this is excellent value for money. As I say, I can't stress it enough. If you're going to start playing with electrics, make sure you know what you're doing. Don't do it unless you're qualified. If you start mucking about with electrics, you can easily do yourself some damage, okay? But this little machine, I think it's worth it. I hope that was informative. Worth getting something like this, even maybe for a gift for somebody. All right, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Right, one more function. Oh, no, that's no good because I haven't got a microphone.